Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. I welcome you to today's powerful discussion where we uncover hidden truths and confront the identity crisis facing the Black community. Now in this eye-opening video, a courageous brother sheds light on a long-concealed aspect of American history, challenging the very fabric of our understanding. Imagine a community where freed slaves thrived as farmers, craftsmen and entrepreneurs, living alongside palm-colored people as equals. Welcome to Israel Hill, Virginia, established in 1810 by 90 formerly enslaved persons who received land and freedom from Judith Randolph. But this remarkable story raises fundamental questions. Now he asks, who are we really? Are we Israelites, African Americans, or simply Black people? Why aren't pastors teaching our true identity in Bible study? Our enslavers knew exactly who they enslaved, but this nation has worked tirelessly to erase our true heritage. As Psalm 83 verse 2 to 8 warns, our enemies have consulted together to hide our identity, seeking to cut us off from being a nation and erase the name of Israel from memory. So with that said, let's take a look at this video. I will be right back, and when I do, I share more information on this.
Free Blacks of Israel Hill. Just to the west lies Israel Hill, settled in 1810 to 1811 by approximately 90 formerly enslaved persons who received freedom and 350 acres from Judith Randolph under the will of her husband, Richard Randolph, cousin of Thomas Jefferson. These Israelites and other free African Americans worked as farmers, craftspeople, and Appomattox River boatmen. Some labor alongside whites for equal wages and defended their rights in court. The family of early settler Hercules White bought and sold real estate in Farmville and joined with white citizens to found the town's First Baptist Church in 1836. Israel Hill remained a vigorous Black community into the 20th century. So the question here you want to ask, who are we? Are we Israelites? Are we African Americans? Or are we Black people? This is what you want to ask. Who exactly are we? You see, for the most part, our people don't know who we are, but our enslavers know exactly who they enslaved. And these nations did a good job of hiding us from who we truly are, as told in the book of Psalms chapter 83, verses 2 to 8. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. So these nations came together with one consent, in agreement to hide us from who we truly are. The tabernacles of Edom, or the so-called white man, the Spanish, the Americans, the Romans, the Irish, etc. The Ishmaelites, who we know as the Arabs, the Muslims. All right, they're all confederate against us. All right, that's why they got the stores in our hood, the gas stations. You can go on. Moab, or which we know today as the Chinese people. All right, and these other nations, even the Africans, which is not our people. All right, these are not our people. They never were our people. We never sold our own people. Africans, or the Hamites, all right, better yet, as the Bible says they are. The Hamites played a pivotal role in selling us to the Grecians, as Joel 3:6 explains. All right, so these nations are against us. They had a lot to do with our captivity, chiefly Edom, the so-called white man. And verse 12 goes in to say, who said, let us take ourselves the houses of God in possession. So once again, these people knew exactly who they took into captivity. They took the houses of God. All right. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the children of the Most High. All right. Most of our people really don't know who we are, but it's time to wake up to this. So let's think about it. When you see these nations meet up at that building, at the United Nations, when these nations come for their meetings and they sit in them seats, and they got the names of those nations in front of them seats. Where's our seat at? Who's speaking up for us? Who's speaking up for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives? Where's our ambassador? Who's speaking on our behalf? The United States? Great Britain, the lineage of our enslavers, our oppressors, that's who's speaking up for us? We don't hold a seat in the United Nations because we're still captives and still possession to these people who enslaved us. A lot of our people think we're free, but we're not. If we were free, we would have our own land. We would have our own military. We would have our own defense. We have none of that. And if so, I need you to prove that. We have yet to be delivered and saved out of these people's hands, and we're within that hour as we speak. But I don't want to get off too far or off subject. I want to prove that this Bible is talking about us and that we're the children of Israel and not the people that's in our land right now. Now, we have curses on our people for not listening to the Most High Yahweh. And one of the curses is what I'm about to read right here. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verses 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Now, a byword is something given to us out of our God-given name. The Most High calls us Jacob, Israel, Zion, the Israelites. Now, today we're called African Americans, black. Excuse my writing, but we even call names like this: Afro-American, colored, Native, Hispanic, Jamaican, Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Mexican, and the list goes on, but these are all bywords. Here's more proof. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 44, verses 11 to 14. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and does not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, talking about the other nations, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. And we were definitely sold. See, all this was prophesied. This is how you knew who the Bible is really talking about. See, this is another curse that will come on our people in Deuteronomy 28 if we didn't listen to the Lord and if we committed iniquities and wickedness in our land. This Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, into slavery again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning when we go on these ships into captivity, that we wouldn't see our homeland. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, for male slaves, and bondwomen, for female slaves. And no man shall buy you, meaning nobody's going to be able to get you out of this captivity. Now question, what people went into slavery on ships, never seen their land since, and were sold unto their enemies as male and female slaves, and never went back home? Was it these people? Or was it these people? More proof of who this book is talking to and why we're going through what we're going through. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verses 45 to 48. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Why? Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Remember that word, forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. And who the enemies we serving now? Which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So how long is forever, y'all? Forever means forever. These signs and wonders will be upon the children of Israel. And the signs and wonders is us going into captivity and us serving our enemies. Look at verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, the other nations, which the Lord shall send against thee. In hunger, meaning food. Anytime we want food, who we got to go through? The enemy. And in thirst, anytime we need something to drink, who we got to go through? The enemy. All right? Who owns Walmart? All right? Who owns all these shopping centers, ShopRite and stuff? Not us, the enemy does. And in nakedness, talking about clothes. Anytime we want clothes, who we got to go through to get clothes? And in want of all things, your license, all right, your passport, anything you want, anything we need, we got to go through the enemy. This does not fit them other people. It only fit us. Watch this. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And what people had yokes of iron on their neck? You see, the Bible is very descriptive on what happened to the children of Israel. Watch this, y'all. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 42, verses 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. You see how the Bible is very descriptive? What people were robbed and spoiled, robbed of their heritage, their culture, their inventions. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many inventions our people are behind. But it was another people who played like they the ones that brought the invention. Whole time it was our people. It said snared in holes and hid in prison houses. And what people pack up the prison houses? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives pack up the prison houses. And it said that we would be snared in holes. The holes that it's talking about is the living conditions we're in, the projects, the rundown parts of town, the cities. What people live in places like these. This is where you're going to find the real Jews and Israelites of the Bible. Time to wake up.
Now, the brothers' revelations about Israel Hill, Virginia, and the deliberate concealment of African American identity resonate deeply. Now, this phenomenon is not isolated, but rather a symptom of a broader historical dynamic. Consider the 1719 Virginia law, which prohibited teaching enslaved individuals to read and write, effectively erasing their cultural heritage. Now, this legislation aimed to maintain control and suppress the spread of knowledge that could ignite liberation. Fast forward to the 20th century, the civil rights movement, and the subsequent emphasis on African American studies. Scholars like Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben Carson, and others have worked tirelessly to reclaim and rediscover the rich history of African people. Take the Freedmen's Bureau records as an example, 1865 to 1872, which document the lives of formerly enslaved individuals, including those who established communities like Israel Hill. The 1870 U.S. Census lists over 400,000 African Americans as landowners, highlighting their determination to rebuild. W.E.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folk, 1903, explores the struggle for identity and self-determination. Now, the brothers' reference to Psalm 83, verse 2 to 8, echoes themes found in the works of scholars like Dr. Charles S. Finch, who wrote extensively on African presence in the Bible, Dr. Runoko Rashid, who explored the African diaspora's connections to ancient civilizations. Now, these researchers demonstrate that the suppression of African American identity is a centuries-old phenomenon, perpetuated through systemic articism, historical manipulation, and cultural erasure. Now, Thomas Jefferson condemned slavery but denied that palm color and liberated blacks could live together in harmony. Jefferson's young cousin Richard Randolph and 90 African Americans set out to prove the Sage of Monticello wrong. Now, when Randolph got unalived in 1796, he left land for his formidable boatman Hercules Palm Color and for dozens of other slaves. Now, there they could build new lives as free people alongside Palm Color neighbors and other blacks who had gained their liberty earlier. Fittingly, the Randolph freed people called their promised land Israel Hill. Now, these black Israelites and other free African Americans established farms, plowed skilled trades, and navigated the Appomattox River in freight-carrying batworks. Hercules, Palm Color son Sam, and other free blacks bought and sold boats, land, and buildings, and they won the respect of Palm Color people. Now, Melvin Patrick Early captures a series of remarkable personal and public dramas. Free black and Palm Color people do business with one another, sue each other, work side by side for equal wages, join forces to found a Baptist congregation, move west together, and occasionally settle down as man and wife. Even still, enslaved blacks who face charges of graping or unaliving Palm Color sometimes find ardent Palm Color defenders. Yet slavery's long shadow darkness this landscape in unpredictable ways. After Nat Turner's slave revolt, county officials confiscate and auction off free blacks and then vote to give the proceeds to the blacks themselves. One black Israelite marries an enslaved woman and watches powerless as a Palm Color master carries 3 of their children off to Missouri. A free black miller has to bid for his own wife at a public auction. Pro-slavery hawks falsely depict Israel Hill to the nation as a degenerate place whose supposed failure proves blacks are unfit for freedom. Now, the Confederate Army compels free black men to build fortifications far from home until Lee finally surrenders to Grant a few miles from Israel Hill. Now, early tells a moving story of hope and hardship, of Black pride and achievement. He shows us an old South we hardly know, where ties of culture, faith, affection, and economic interests cross racial barriers, a society in which, ironically, many Pamkala felt secure enough to deal fairly and even cordially with free African Americans, partially because slavery still held most blacks firmly in its grip. Now, the brother's message serves as a catalyst for self-reflection and exploration. Consider the concept of Sankofa, derived from the Ghanaian word meaning go back and fetch it. Now, this principle emphasizes the importance of reclaiming our past to inform our present and shape our future. Historical figures like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King Jr. understood the significance of reconnecting with African roots. They championed Pan-Africanism, Black nationalism, and civil rights, laying the groundwork for contemporary movements. Now, modern-day initiatives such as the African Diaspora Heritage Trail, the National Museum of African American History and Culture, the Black Heritage Trail, demonstrate a renewed commitment to preserving and celebrating African American culture. However, challenges do persist. The ongoing debate surrounding critical race theory and the 1619 Project highlights the tension between acknowledging historical truths and perpetuating harmful narratives. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do you have to say about a brother's amazing video? Share your thoughts, your contributions, your views, and your take as well in the comment section. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by tapping on the like button, and do subscribe because you will find my videos interesting and intriguing. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.